Hi, I'm Brent Pourciau,
And I'm Layseca.
and we're here today to cover the basic foundations of pitching. For all you beginners out there, or fathers who are starting off with a young athlete.
And coaches.
Mike Layseca is a coach of 20 years, and his biggest challenge is dealing with these young pitchers and teaching them how to not just throw the ball with strictly their arms. And I'd like to ask to Mike, why do we throw? The first time we pick up a ball, why do we want to just throw it with our arm?
Well, I have a couple different theories. The first theory I have is, well, when we're young kids, you're playing catch with your son, you show him the ball, and then you throw. And then they get a little older, they still show him the ball, and they say you throw like girls. They come in here, they show them the ball, and then you get a coach say turn your shoulder. And still, it doesn't really teach them to use their legs. So that's why we're here today, to kind of see some of the things, what I've seen in my 20 years of coaching and hundreds of kids. That's what we're here today for.
Yeah, and another way to put it as well is, I think as a young child, when it first walks up to an object that it wants to project or throw a good distance, it sees something as small as a 5-ounce ball as not something too threatening to its physique. So it feels that it can just pick it up off the ground and then just use the arm strictly to propel it to a certain location. And I think that's where we go wrong, because then when we get older and we move up levels in the game of baseball, especially as pitchers, we're required to throw harder to be more effective with our batters. And I think then we reach the point where when we want to throw harder, we just think we got to whip the arm harder, and then we start doing damage to these very vulnerable small rotator cuff muscles. And I think what we need to do is almost train the kid to think that this is not a 5-ounce ball. If we took a young child and we gave it something as heavy as a bowling ball or a medicine ball and we told it to pick it up and throw it a distance, you would see the child pick the ball up with 2 hands, with the legs bent, using the whole body to handle the weight, to be able to propel it to a specific location. So I think what we want to do is we want to say, okay, it is a 5-ounce ball, but let's not think a 5-ounce ball. Let's think something heavier, so then we can get our body to use everything to throw the ball, not just the arm. So Mike used an example of how a father would throw with his child, and I think that's incredibly important, because those are our first role models, is our father. And the biggest flaws, the biggest problems that our fathers can do is to think that they just have to portray the knowledge to the child, and really they almost have to incorporate it into their own mechanics and almost become a pitcher themselves, so their child can, because their child's mimicking that, so their child can pick up on that.
Right, so let me stop you, because most kids start when they're 8 years old, or even younger. So why don't you step back, and so if I'm going to throw the ball into the camera, okay, you're not going to see a dad get his arm up, get his arms back like this, get his legs open. The kid would be fearful. So now he goes, here's the ball, Sonny, and catch the ball, and then he turns and he says, okay, here we go again. So this isn't very intimidating, but I feel a father at 8 years old is not going to get his arm up in this position here and turn, and now becomes, so what they do is they mimic.